Prince Albert of Monaco and Princess Charlene have long stood as the serene yet enigmatic figures at the heart of one of Europe's most iconic royal households, but recent revelations from the palace have shattered the illusion of calm. In a moment that has stunned not only Monaco but royal watchers across the globe, the couple have stepped forward to confess what many had speculated for years but never dared to say aloud. Their revelations have lit a fuse beneath the glitz of Monte Carlo, revealing private torment, deep family divisions, and a royal household more fragile than ever imagined. The picturesque facade of the Grimaldi Palace, with its marble-clad walls, cascading red carpets, and vintage glamour, has always hidden more than it reveals. But now, behind those historic walls, Prince Albert and Princess Charlene have drawn the curtains back just enough for the world to witness the tempest that's been brewing within. In the rarest of moves for Monaco's notoriously private royals, they've issued statements so raw and unfiltered that they have left courtiers scrambling and longtime supporters either heartbroken or vindicated. Their announcement didn't come in the form of a televised address or polished press conference. Instead, it emerged through carefully choreographed yet emotionally revealing interviews, coordinated by a palace that finally acknowledged it could no longer keep up appearances. At the center of this revelation was a single undeniable fact: the fairy tale was cracking. For years, whispers had followed Princess Charlene like shadows at dusk. From her sudden disappearance from public life in 2021 to months spent in South Africa away from her children and husband, questions snowballed into tabloid frenzy. Was she ill, trapped, unhappy? Rumors hinted at everything from marital estrangement to silent exile. The palace repeatedly issued cool, firm denials. But now, as Monaco holds its collective breath, the truth is far more complex and deeply human. In his statement, Prince Albert didn't hide behind formal language. He spoke as a husband, a father, and a man who has borne the burden of legacy. "Charlene and I have weathered storms no one could imagine," he said, "and while we have always sought to protect our family, we can no longer remain silent." His voice, while measured, cracked with the weight of suppressed emotion. The confession was not a media strategy, it was an act of survival. Charlene's own words were even more piercing. Known for her poise and reserved demeanor, the former Olympic swimmer chose her phrases carefully. "I felt invisible at times," she admitted. "There are expectations placed on me that no one could prepare for. I didn't abandon Monaco, I was searching for a way to come back whole." Her voice, steeled by resilience, betrayed years of internal conflict. The admission of emotional burnout, psychological strain, and the toll of being a princess in the world's second smallest country might not shock royal watchers used to the theater of monarchy. But the depth of Charlene's words did. She spoke openly of moments of isolation, of feeling like a guest in her own life, and of needing to step away so I could protect what I still loved. Her confession was not a betrayal, it was a breakthrough. For Prince Albert, the moment marked a shift. No longer the defensive sovereign who once lashed out at international media for distorting facts, he took accountability. He admitted the palace had mishandled key moments of Charlene's public absence. "We were too focused on protocol," he confessed, "and not enough on people." That sentence alone sent ripples through Monaco's elite, where image has long trumped intimacy. Palace insiders now report that the confessions have opened the door to a long overdue reckoning within the Grimaldi household. There are conversations about mental health support, about revising royal duties, and even about redefining what it means to be a modern princess in a principality still tethered to ancient codes of conduct. Public reaction has been immediate and impassioned. Outside the palace gates, citizens of Monaco have gathered not to protest, but to express solidarity. Flowers, letters, and signs bearing messages of love and support now line the entrance of the royal courtyard. "We see you, Charlene," one sign read. Another, written in a child's handwriting, simply said, "Come home happy." Commentators from royal biographers to celebrity psychologists weighed in, calling it a watershed moment for royal transparency. The British press, always quick to compare, noted the stark contrast between the Monaco confession and the controlled image management favored by Buckingham Palace. In Monaco, the truth had finally been allowed to breathe. But even as support pours in, the road ahead is uncertain. Prince Albert faces increasing pressure to modernize Monaco's monarchy. Critics argue that decades of secrecy and image crafting have left the palace vulnerable. Some question whether the Grimaldi dynasty can survive another scandal, while others insist that this transparency might be its saving grace. Behind closed doors, the couple are said to be undergoing joint counseling and participating in family therapy sessions with their twins, Prince Jacques and Princess Gabriella. Palace aides reveal that the children, still so young, so impressionable, have become the couple's grounding force. They remind us why we fight for each other, Charlene was overheard telling a confidant. That sentiment, more than any title or tradition, now anchors the palace. One notable outcome of the confession is a reinvigoration of Charlene's public role, not as a silent figurehead, but as an advocate for mental health and personal resilience. She has already agreed to front a new initiative aimed at supporting women navigating mental health crises, particularly those in high-pressure public roles. Her personal story will form the campaign's emotional core. This moment also sheds light on the particular isolation Charlene faced as a non-native princess. Born in Zimbabwe and raised in South Africa, her transition into the deeply traditional, insular world of Monaco was not seamless. Her unfamiliarity with the language, culture, and expectations only deepened her loneliness. The palace, in hindsight, admits it underestimated the challenge. Still, amid the rawness, there is also hope. Palace sources confirm that a small, private vow renewal ceremony is being discussed, something intimate, reflective, and far from the paparazzi's lens. It would serve not as a rebranding exercise, but as a reaffirmation of love and commitment in a relationship many had prematurely written off. As dusk falls over the Mediterranean and the palace lights flicker on, illuminating its centuries-old turrets, the air feels different. Monaco has seen scandal before, from Grace Kelly's tragic end to Albert's acknowledged illegitimate children, but this confession feels singular. It is not about secrets unearthed but truths owned. It is about a royal couple refusing to pretend any longer. The world is watching not to judge, but to understand. Prince Albert and Princess Charlene have done something few royals dare, they've exposed their vulnerability. And in doing so, they may have just saved their marriage, their legacy, and the soul of Monaco's monarchy. But with the truth now out in the open, one question lingers in the minds of royal observers and citizens alike. Will this act of honesty be enough to truly transform the House of Grimaldi, or is it simply a pause before the next storm? Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video if you support truth over tradition and vulnerability over image. Let's keep this royal conversation going.